Ladies and gentlemen, we got more TBATE drama. A little bit late, but hey, these are leaked messages with timestamp from TurtleMe, which is very recent. TurtleMe had no choice! Exclamation mark from 6 days ago. So let's read the DMs. Leaked Discord messages. When I heard, it's also not leaked. These are, honestly, it's not like these are supposed to be that private. If he didn't want this shit public, he wouldn't have said this. So this is quote-unquote leaked messages. When I heard that ACAT was adapting it, I wasn't really familiar with the studio. One Google search, bro. One Google search is all you have to do. B, once I looked them up, I did have some reservations based on their track record. But I can't throw a fit and be like, no, go with another studio when the deal has already been made. What do you mean the deal has already been made? So the timeline of this is you had to sign a deal, but this was before you could do your due diligence. So up front, TurtleMe signed a contract without doing due diligence, and then afterwards he did the reason. And so the Crunchyroll hide the fact, because here's two scenarios, right? If TurtleMe straight up was not given a list of the studio or the director working with before, then that is an absolute fucking scam. It is an absolute scam. If Crunchyroll, Tapas, and them, they all pulled up to TurtleMe and basically just said, hey, it's now or never, bro. You can have the anime adaptation. We don't know what studio it's gonna be. And if TurtleMe was like, fuck, all right, I want to take the opportunity, and then sign a contract, and then was told that it's going to be ACAT, then he doesn't really have any fault in that. He basically just got scammed super hard. But it's very unclear what the details are. Because if TurtleMe was given, hey, Studio ACAT was there from the beginning, but he just didn't do the research and immediately signed a contract afterwards, then he did the research, then that is on him. Right. Ultimately, it's the director or one of the main backers for the project having the last say. What I find funny though is when people on social media say that me doing the anime was a cash grab XD, when I made almost no money on this. I don't think TurtleMe is trying to do a cash grab. I don't think so at all. I think he was very excited that he would be one of the first of his category. Remember, it's a very unique situation where he is a Korean person, but he is like Korean American, but also publishes the content on Tapas. So it is like the first anime adaptation in that category. These are like, I guess, like historical milestones. And I guess he was really excited to have that shit done. So I don't think it's a cash grab at all. It's just, now that we have these DMs, there's still a little bit of unclear messaging, right? Were you given in advance that ACAT was doing it? Or was this afterwards? Because either or, like one of the two, either he's completely innocent or he's getting blamed. This is a fake message? You don't think he would public message this? It's a fake message. You know what? You guys are right. Good point. We should be doing our due diligence about this. So let's pull back and look at the pinned comment. Just to clarify, these are the actual screenshots from Lance chat on the official TurtleMe Discord server, formerly known as the official TBATE server. Though normally stuff like that happens in Lance chat should stay in Lance chat as in don't leak it. So can we just listen to this mod and just agree? Shouldn't we have to get in the actual Discord server to confirm or not if this is fake or not? So just to clarify, if I'm reading correctly, he didn't get to pick a studio. From what I gathered, he did pick the studio, but he wasn't familiar before the deal. So again, then he is to blame. Crunchyroll gave him the studio beforehand. He signed without doing the research. But he did some research after the deal was made, and then it was too late for him to complain when he already signed a contract. If what Toby Gamercom here is saying is absolutely true, then TurtleMe fucked up. Oh wow. I would like some context onto why he would pick a studio without doing his proper research. Exactly. Why the fuck would you not do that? Did they not give him the time to think his decision or pressure him immediately picking something because this seemed really out of pocket for a writer especially? Yeah, they could have done something like, hey, you need to sign the deal right now, and didn't give TurtleMe any, like, they just basically like cornered him and said, sign it or not, or it's gone. Sounds like Tapas did all the legwork and asked Turtle for his blessing. Tapas likely had a PowerPoint with all the options and loaded the deck for ACAT. I've been and pitched similarly in a different industry. That is I do not know. And I don't have the time now to go through the list of messages on Discord, nor I think I'm allowed to share it. So I guess we can just assume that Toby Gamercom is from the server. Look at close, it's edited. What about it? It's your random word versus random people on random words, okay? Do you think that a Discord mod, sorry, a Reddit mod, who is the mod of a debate forum, would lie about this? Just think about that for a second, right? I understand that suspicions are there, but like, don't you think that this person in his best interest would not be to edit the screenshots? You know, I would give him the benefit of the doubt, not just because this is a fucking Reddit mod, but what's more likely here? A random chat and kick, you know, being schizo about edited screenshot, or an actual person who's established in the community who wants to maintain his reputation. Imagine if this caught out that it's faking it. Imagine the damage it would do to this guy's reputation. I think he would care about that. I would honestly go with this guy more likely. We don't have the absolute truth, but I would give him the benefit of the doubt, considering the positions that he's lined up in. What this tells us, his initial claim about having a list is a lie. No idea why he did that. He's not bounded by an NDA since he said this freely in Lance chat. However, we still do not know why he's talking to the general community. He probably just doesn't want to say something that would make the shit even get worse, right? Because again, we are free to crash out all we want from our, you know, random videos. But we're not Turtle Me. Think about his perspective, the potential career damages that could be done, right? Honestly, I think that the fucking anime shitting on his legacy work has already done damage, but like there could be more bridges burned, right? So he's probably being very like responsible and respectful. Unfortunately, it may seem like licking the boot or kissing the ring, but he's in a tough situation, so obviously he can't just like say shit. I don't think the list was a false statement. Is it the list of like the studios that was given? I see no reason to lie. Everyone I knew was a terrible study. I don't see the marketing advantage in saying there were other choices. I think it's extremely more likely that this new statement is false. He's trying to shift the blame from this disaster onto others, when instead he could have simply said, no, nothing is done on these conditions. Oh, now we're going into conspiracy theory territories right now. P.S. Honestly, maybe now a few more people will realize what kind of person Turtle... Yo, what the fuck? Garaccio suddenly is being schizo, putting a tinfoil hat on and saying, yo, Turtle Me? He's lying. He's lying and shifting the blame, protecting the corporate overlords and throwing others under the bus. What the fuck? What? What kind of person Turtle Me is? Are you insinuating he's bad? Absolutely he is. I don't know how much about him. Again, I don't know him, right? And here's the other thing. You guys don't know him. I don't know him. No one knows him here, right? This is an author of a work that you may adore, but at the end of the day, you will never really know him. You guys in chat, you don't know me either, right? I make the content, but you don't really what I'm like in my personal life. So, like, you can't just immediately say, oh, this is an angel, he could do no wrong. There could be some truth in there, but I would give him the benefit of the doubt before fucking starting a schizo conspiracy campaign like this. Well, it seems pretty clear to me that I meant it in a negative way. Yeah, it did. Just look at his work and how he's managed it almost exclusively for monetary purposes. What an actual retard. There are losers online that cannot fathom that a business is run to make money. There are genuine, and I remember doing this shit too, right? When I was doing YouTube reactions and I was like, guys, I think I'm gonna try going full time and blah blah blah. And people are like, oh you shouldn't be doing YouTube to make money. This should be for passion, for fun. It's like, listen, you can have passionate work and you can also monetize it. There are bills to be paid. There's nothing fucking inherently wrong with it. But there's some people who genuinely think that making money off of content is like a bad thing, because they are now basically getting jealous and envious and looking at somebody living their dreams and able to, you know, make money, way more money by doing something that is way better than their shitty job. And they try to fucking contextualize it and rationalize in their own head and be like, oh, greedy motherfucker. I can't believe he would do this for money. Guess what, dude? It's a job. It's a fucking business. Who's going to pay for his bills? Are you going to donate the money? Like, what a fucking nasty ass comment, man. What an honestly nasty ass comment that's so ignorant to the way that, you know, society operates. Stupid kids, bro. Straight up stupid kids. This guy honestly is kind of schizo. I wouldn't take what he's saying seriously. Honestly, if this is real, this makes the author seem negligent. Yeah, he was absolutely negligent. He was absolutely ignorant. He did not do the fucking research. The author not doing research before they were given an offer or after offer seems pretty careless. More than careless. Like, are we, maybe he just dumb. Straight up. Maybe he's just dumb. And was way too excited at the potential of the animation happening. And he was peer pressured, I guess, by Crunchyroll and Tapas, and was kind of like, hey, this is a deadline. Maybe there was a small window of opportunity. Now, it wouldn't have taken much, right? Like, what was happening? Were they at a fucking dinner table? And they were like, hey, Studio ACAT's gonna be doing this. Are you fine with it? It's now or never. Could bro not have fucking brought his fucking phone and be like, oh, wait, hold up. Let me search out Studio ACAT on my phone. Or would that be seem disrespectful? Was he so cucked that he couldn't even do that in person? Like, I'm just trying to think of, like, scenarios, right? We don't know exactly how it happened. But, like, how does it make sense that this is your magnum opus? This is your life's work. This is the defining series. And if it's going to get an anime adaptation, surely you're aware that there are plenty of, projects that's been done bad that creators fucking cry about. I mean, even recently, look at Tower of God. Maybe he's not aware of what's happening in the anime industry. But we even had an Oshinoko arc that was literally dedicated towards this. Creators' work getting adapted into, what was it, like a live action film? But it was so fucking ass because they didn't care about it. Like, this is a common thing. So you tell me he just was that ignorant of these things and just signed a fucking deal because he got so excited and giddy? I find that hard to believe. I don't know what kind of person he is, but based on the way that he was presenting himself, talking in that Crunchyroll interview, he seemed like a very logical, well-spoken person. And I would hope that someone like him would have done the bare minimum to fucking research before signing a fucking deal. Like, again, either they immediately said right now or never, or Turtle Me straight up just fucked up. Just honest mistake and just messed up. I thought any studio just says, we will do your work, but only if you respond within an hour or anything like that. We don't know, right? We do not know the details. Because a single Google search into ACAT kind of reveals a lack of care and effort they put into the work. Absolutely. It would have taken fucking 30 seconds, bro. Boom. Studio ACAT. Oh, Studio ACAT companies. Okay. Click onto the link. Oh, boy. What the hell? 6.32, 5.96. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I can already say that. Yeah, none of these are recognizable or identifiable, good animes. That's it. That's all you had to do. Less than a fucking minute. He couldn't have done that? Dude, it's very possible he approved the adaptation. He can voice dismay over the studio but cannot change the decision. We simply don't know the deal he had with Tapas. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know the deal. I guess a lot of people just want to know, were you that stupid? Or were you forced into a situation that you had no control over? That's basically what I'm interested in. Looks fake, plus if it was real, I have my doubts believing it. Now, we're talking about the contents of the Discord screenshots. Edit, wow, just realized I know the guy who posted it. I don't trust him, Lamau. He regularly trolls. Plus, he deleted the post. Now, am I gonna listen to a random fucking Reddit account named Afraid_explanation58? I mean, he got a lot of upvotes. But then another dude right below is saying, explanation odd 8899, saying it's real. Yeah, I found like an hour after I edited my post. Though, in my opinion, this makes Turtle Me look even worse. So right now, the screenshots are real. This doesn't look real. It is real. He said in the Discord server, this is 10 times worse in my opinion. True. Again, if he was straight up given the list before, right? Given Studio ACAT before and then just signed it, that's just actually stupid. Kind of confirms my thoughts that Tapas owns most, if not the whole IP now, and Turtle is just finishing the novel and chiming in when community concerns outrage pops up, just sad overall. So Tapas is handling everything behind the scenes, and Turtle Me literally had no pick to it, is the other thing. So now we can maybe just blame Tapas. This is just a bunch of bullshit. Oh, it's Garachio again. In an interview with Turtle Me, he stated that he personally chose ACAT Studio, from a list of proposed studios, so maybe they were all bad. But unless it was revealed which other studios, it was unlikely. It is a contractual matter. You can't know. He did not do a single bit of research in the studio. He stated he chose it only because the representative of the studio, right? Else said he read TBATE. Yeah, in the Crunchyroll interview, apparently, Turtle Me had a conversation with the director working on ACAT. And what stood out to Turtle Me at that point was, oh, the director cares about my work because he said there are sci-fi elements in this isekai show, which is rare. I remember specifically him mentioning that. He also stated he was heavily involved in the project. He did. He said that he would have collaboration along with the studio that was making it, which we now know, which is just a fucking lie. An author receives money when it's licensed his own story. Usually, either you accept a percentage of the proceeds, but it seems strange to me in this context since the anime doesn't make money directly, or you receive a fixed amount of money agreed upon, which is probably what they did. So I didn't earn money is a huge lie. He probably did earn money, but it's not like $1 million deal. I doubt Turtle Me is profiting like crazy from the anime adaptation. Last but not least, I don't think they held a gun to his head, make him sign a contract. He had every right to refuse an adaptation he didn't consider adequate. If he signed, it was out of stupidity or more likely greed indifference. That last part I could definitely agree, right? Either A, he's just stupid and just didn't think in the present of the moment to actually do it. And plenty of intellectual smart people can make mistakes, especially when emotions are involved. So it's not a bad thing that this is like a byproduct of stupidity. It's like accidents happen. This is a more nefarious, point, right? Greed, indifference. You really think that somebody would choose a shitty studio to adapt their baby work? Like, think about that for a second. Think about it from the perspective of an author whose life's work is TBATE. And you think that he would sell out for a couple of fucking pennies? Couple of dollars? Like, I don't think he's getting paid billions of fucking dollars, bro. Like, I know it's the same guy that's, talking about money and greed. He obviously has a very negative perspective on, TBATE to a unhealthy parasocial level. But you really think that he would sell out his work? Like, you think that's how little he cares about TBATE? That he would just let that shit be ruined? But on top of that, the money. Like you really think he got paid for this? That much? Like, he probably did get paid. But I don't think we're making significant money. Now, there is, again, a chance that some sort of deal is made behind the doors where maybe Turtle Me did get paid out a significant sum. Maybe. Who knows, right? This is not outside the realm of, possibility. Like, it's definitely possible that maybe there was a very insidious plan where Turtle Me saw the money, a flat amount or some amount that was promised at the cost of the anime being done by a dog shit studio. Yeah, it's feasible, but you would have to assume the absolute worst of the guy and for him to not care about his life's work like that, which I just don't really think so. He probably makes more money off of 1 month on his Patreon than he made off this. Oh, he's got a Patreon, really? Honestly, at that point, yeah, it seems less likely, right? It seems less likely that someone that already has these different revenue streams who is probably doing well off would be coerced by a deal like this. But then again, who knows, right? Everyone's got a price. But there is so many like layers of assumptions you have to make, and the reasonability of these assumptions doesn't really line up. So I don't think it's this. I think it's more likely this. There's this term called Hanlon's razor, retard's razor. Never attribute malice to that. There may be like ignorance or stupidity or something. Basically, whenever you think that there is like a insidious conspiracy theory, most of the times it's just people fucking up. It's just people being dumb and stupid. And there is no crazy Eisen, puppet master shit going on behind the scenes. I don't rule out the possibility that the statement is fake. It's Reddit, not an official reliable source. True. But it wouldn't surprise me if it were true. Do not forget the comments he made on Discord answering rumors about a possible anime where he quite literally says, if there's an adaptation and it is butchered, I will be happy to get at least the new readers. He did say that, absolutely, but this does not confirm the assumption that Turtle Me is fine with tanking the anime. Like, think about that for a second. Are you so fucking stupid? Just think the thought process out for a second. The average person watching TBATE will never check out TBATE. People who watch an anime and it's a shit adaptation will not be incentivized to check out the story. This is how most average people behave. If an anime adaptation is truly good and they want more of it at the end of the season, they will go seek out the source material. This is what I believe is the natural behavior of most average people. There may be some people who have been glazed about TBATE weeks and months leading up to the anime adaptation that, oh, I see the anime is bad, but I've heard tremendous things about this anime, therefore I'll go check it out. That group already is such a niche audience from the big pool of the massive audience that watches anime. So again, this logic, it's more like an afterthought that Turtle Me is saying, you know, relying on like insurance, saying, ah, shit, it went to the shitters. But you know what? Maybe some people will check out the source material. That is, in my opinion, how that statement came out. To think that he intentionally botched the anime because somehow that would get people to read more of his novels. Does that make any fucking sense to you? Absolutely not. Add to that, Turtle Me himself turned out big studios because he thought they would be too busy with other projects and wouldn't give TBATE the attention it deserves. Boy, did that backfire. Absolutely. And I've said this again. JC staff, with them juggling so many different projects, I bet you JC staff would have done a better job than Studio ACAT while balancing like 4 other fucking anime projects going. A small studio does not mean they can, like, again, why do you think Studio ACAT's a small studio? Because they're probably fucking garbage, bro. It's not that like there's some small indie shop that puts so much care and attention into a work like KyoAni. Not saying KyoAni is a small indie, but you know what I mean, right? Like, this is not the case, bro. Maybe they're a small studio still because they just fucking suck. Where did the news come from? It's Crunchyroll interviews, right? This is Crunchyroll interviews that he's basically saying. This is the fake Morgan suspicions about the Discord message. It's real. Check Turtle Me Discord server. Let's just say, even if it were real, there is always a choice. Take Brandon Sanderson, for instance. He's one of the biggest names in high fantasy right now, and Hollywood has approached him multiple times for a live adaptation of SLA and Mistborn, only for Brandon to reject him because he doesn't want his work to be butchered. In his own words, Hollywood doesn't know what to do with you if you don't need their money, because quality and happiness of the fans matter more to him. Yeah, that's a fair comparison to make. Maybe Turtle Me just did fold, man. Maybe the quality of the anime wasn't the priority to him, but rather some sort of milestone of, again, his unique category of source material being adapted as an animation. It's not an unreasonable statement, right? It's not an unreasonable statement. Brandon Sanderson also retains full control over his works and is, of course, one of the, if not the most popular and influential authors in the genre. He has the power, influence, and infrastructure to make things happen as he wills. Almost no author does, almost certainly Turtle Me does not. So basically, Brandon has the fuck you money and the resources to do whatever he wants, while most other people can't afford to do that. And as one of the only modern Western authors ever to have a chance to have an anime made after work, again, this is what I'm talking about. The unique category that he is in. This is not a webtoon adaptation, right? This is a Korean American person publishing his work on Tapas and getting an adaptation that way. Do you really think Turtle Me should have said no? Again, the temptation is there. I definitely understand. I'm sure it wasn't Turtle Me's choice. Tapas was greedy enough to not pay original artists for more money. I'm sure that's what was happening with that author rights that apparently left. I'm sure they want with a studio that did for the cheap. I could definitely see that. From the beginning, what was it? Tapas and Crunchyroll, they seem to be the insidious entities that was basically trying to, you know, use this as a quick cash grab, not Turtle Me. Sure, and Tapas even took control of Turtle Me's mind and forced him to sign a contract to make an anime. Again, Garaccio is just such a... He will never see the benefit of the doubt. Is it hard to realize that Turtle Me only cares about money? Genuinely retard. Actually so stupid. Because again, this assumption relies on the fact that somehow he got $1 billion deal out of this anime project. Do you really think that a studio like Studio ACAT that is utilized to make cheap fucking anime, you really think that the budget is there to give him that kind of deal? Just like, again, the level of assumptions that doesn't even make sense that you have to fucking stack on top of each other. Because again, this guy is just a loser that cannot comprehend other people, you know, profiting off of their own work, bro. Straight up, just loser mindset. Ignorant, stupid child mindset that doesn't understand the capitalistic society that we live in. Straight, I guarantee you, if anyone else was in the same fucking position, you know, like, you would have folded. I mean, regardless of whether or not the first 100s, if the adaptation will likely be bad and you're not going to make much money, why on earth would you say yes? That's another one. It's a 1 in a million chance. How could you refuse by saying no? There's no point in embracing an opportunity when all it will do is a crappy adaptation of your story as a slice presentation. it's easy for us to say this shit now, but the temptation is definitely there. If I was Turtle Me, and it's again so easy for me to just say this shit, I probably, assuming that I had the fuck you money and the resources, which apparently he has a big fat Patreon, is doing well, holding off. Why not? Maybe Crunchyroll said that if you don't do this, we'll never distribute your anime. That's kind of evil. I would have held out. Is it so unreasonable to assume that like a different studio would pick up the work? Because it's not like it. Because think about this. It's not like TBATE is a no-name brand, right? This is a massive story with a massive following. If this source material was some random, filler bullshit that suddenly got an opportunity like this, then I could be like, yeah, the author probably would have folded because they realized this is a 1 in a million chance. But a work like TBATE, don't you think studios would want to adapt this after seeing the success of, again, it's not a webtoon, but let's say Solo Leveling and others? Doesn't that just kind of make sense? It's just hard for me to believe that it's an all or nothing scenario with a work like TBATE. Again, if there was some other insignificant work, some other random, I don't want to say garbage work because, people put their hard effort into it. But if there was like a lesser known show with less accolades, I could see that happening. But for TBATE, I don't think so. Bro, he made a bad business decision. Yeah, I think he did. It's simple. He didn't even make money either. Yeah, and I could honestly assume this. I don't think like we got a fucking $1 billion deal out of that. So I don't get what your point is. Point of him having not power matters, especially when he didn't do it for money or any type of gain, in which I could understand your point. He didn't have to say no either. He just had to do research beforehand. And that's the fucking frustrating thing, that he didn't do the research, in which I would have done, especially since if you genuinely love your art, you would not risk your reputation for a bad product that you make money on. Exactly. And the whole idea, the assumption that like, oh, we're just going to sell out and people will just find, go read a novel instead because the anime is bad. What a stupid, illogical, tree we're going down. That shit doesn't make sense. This makes a lot of sense to me. First, they should have paid him something for the IP. And second, this serves as a publicity for his story. The anime will not attract many people, but it will attract some. I doubt it's going to attract many though. Even if there are very few, which translate into more readers. Insignificant amounts. He himself said that if the anime was massacred, he hoped at least it would attract new readers, which shows that this is not a bad commercial decision for him. Coping. Straight up coping. You think that having like a couple dozen more people coming to the show is going to change anything, bro? Again, you shouldn't be getting hung up on his fucking statements about, oh, I hope that some people will check out the novel instead. That was literally him trying to cover his ass after a bad decision making happen and trying to think of some positive out of it. It's not a bad commercial decision. That's fucking crazy. I think that brand reputation being damaged by the anime is way more significant than couple dozen people checking out the fucking novel because of this. Bro can't take accountability. Did he sign away a property to Crunchyroll? If he did, he's pretty dumb, lol. I don't know. Why is it dumb? Didn't you read my comment? If he signed away his property to Crunchyroll, he doesn't have to say about the production TBATE. That makes him pretty dumb. Again, signing away your soul to the corporate overlords and you don't get any control over it. Again, we have no details to this. Note, looks like it maybe it's fake. Edit, it's real. Source, you got a fucking Twitter link. Anyways, that's pretty much it. And at that point, this is honestly worse. Sold out for pennies? Fuck him. He didn't sell out for pennies though. He's not selling out. He just wanted his fucking work to get adapted and to have a milestone as one of the first of his category to be made. Like, selling out? No, I think he just made a mistake. At the end of the day, this is my final take until we get more details. Turtle Me fucked up hard. It was an ignorant, stupid mistake to not do your due diligence about what Studio ACAT was before signing the contract. If it's true that he had no choice and Tapas basically organized everything, well, I guess we can blame him for going with Tapas then. Well, I don't know, the blame tree will never end. At the end of the day, it's an honest mistake, stupid mistake. And the notion that he's selling out, that he's making money off of this, you really think that they're making significant money off of this shit? I don't think so. I think he's doing perfectly fine with the different revenue income streams that he has. He in no way did he need to actually like, you know, take this deal because he was getting a secret $1 million deal? That just doesn't fucking make any sense to me. Especially considering the circumstances, right? What studio we're working with, what producers are on board, the fact that they even wanted to make this the cheapest fucking investment to get the most out of it. That shit doesn't make any sense. To think that an author's magnum opus, their life legacy, that they would just throw it away for pennies, that makes no fucking sense to me. Honest mistake. Ignorant, stupid mistake. He should have done more research. And the fans are just upset and trying to have tinfoil cap conspiracy theories because they just want to blame somebody. I get it. Everyone in this, you know, subreddit is upset and mad, and they just want to take their frustrations out. But to say this dumbass shit, bro, what a fucking retard. Straight up. What an actual retard. See you next time.